there are two parts. I think there are two parts in terms of one is a short outline, then the other one is a detailed studied outline. So this the short one for the it's just like an overview. It's very the word count is very limited. So what you have to do there is to say which course you are applying to. Yeah. Then you also talk about the key modules in that course, so you need to check the school's website. Yeah, I keep on emphasizing this. You need to check the school's website, see the program. In fact, some will attach it as a PDF. You can download it, what you need to be taught for each module. So you briefly state like a paraphrase of what each module is going to teach you, what skills you're going to learn from there, and what knowledge you will get. And this related to your developmental impact. Yeah, we keep saying this because that's the end, that's the goal, that you do that, those things you say you want to do. For example, as you earlier stated, if you want to work on mental health, yeah. So these modules, select the ones that address that mental health and try to explain it, the skills you will learn there. Yeah, just like an outline. Then you can also talk a brief, like just on your topic that you want to consider in terms of research. Yeah, the dissertation you want to do. Yeah, it's very important. Don't skip it because it's part of what they check. You definitely, because you know what you want to achieve, you know the kind of dissertation you want to do. So you include that as an just like the topic there. Then when you go detailed, the detailed study plan is more like if you've written your SOP to the school for admission, it will be easier for you because when you come here, you first, one of the things you need to address is, because they ask the questions there, why are you coming to study in the UK? Yeah, why not Pakistan? Why are you not going to Ghana? Yeah, why are you not studying your country? Why are you coming to UK? Yeah, so you can boast about their quality education. Definitely, you are going to cite, you are going to provide um, like a backup for that. How do you think that the education of UK is qualitative? Yeah, is it in terms of the rankings? Is it in terms of the 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 ranking of the schools in terms of the world? And is it in terms of the research expertise they have? You understand? Yeah. So it's good you talk about UK generally. Like even mine, when I was my one of my goals was based on therapy, yeah, cancer therapy. Yeah. So I had to search about UK and see which model they've adopted that my country is not adopting. You understand? Yes. So I had to cite that too because they have a very robust application in terms of that. So even in terms of the industrial sector, UK generally, and the schools, the kind of courses they offer. Then you also talk about the university, the specific university you want to go to. Why are you choosing that university? Yeah, is it because the lecturers there, their line of their line of research, is it does it tie well, does it sit well with your intended dissertation? So you are going to state that too, because it means that there's a possibility of you getting a supervisor to put you through the research process. You understand? Then you also talk about is their kind of model, the model of the university, is it a kind of interdisciplinary approach or like a collaborative approach to in terms of delivering the course? Do they do they get like one of the things I majored on is that there seems to be an incorporation of tutors from industrial sector that have had this real-time experience, not just academia, but they have real-time experience in hands-on experience and application of this technique I want to learn. Yeah, because my school do that. Yeah, they get some of the lecturers from the industrial sector to come and tell you how it. So this was one of the things I also included that made me choose the school. Then in terms of the research facility, do they have the research facility to for um for this um for this research you intend doing? yeah, so that's about the school. Then also your research dissertation, this is where you are going to elaborate on it. You are going to like give an overview, like a summary of what the research aim at doing. You understand? Yes, and how this research, this your research dissertation, how does it link ultimately to the plans you have after study? Yeah, the plans of your developmental impact. So don't forget this. Whenever you are writing anything, any of the essay, put that in front of you, because the essence of all these essays is to just try to test your sincerity in actualizing that aim you said you want to. So don't, if you miss out of this, you start saying another story. So let them let there be coherence in all your essays.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel. Please, I will also advise whatever essay you're writing, try to be honest, okay? Write an essay that you know that you are really passionate about, or choose a line or a field you know that you're really passionate about. Think about it. What do you like doing? Are you interested in women's health? Are you interested in children's health? Are you interested in um climate change? Like, ask yourself, so that if someone wakes you up tomorrow, hey, wake up, what is your interest? You don't need to think so much, because you can lie, assuming that you have, like, because one of the schools that nominated me had an interview with me, a Zoom interview, because they wanted to like reduce the number. So we had an interview, and they were asking me personal questions. So imagine I didn't write something I'm conversant with. I would have been and also, if you get to the stage where you'd be needing an interview, you need to read up about your course very well, the school and everything. But that's on another aspect. So write something, or choose an area or a field that you know that you have passion for, even if it's not yet developed. Let's say you're not sure, but you just like anything that has to do with reproductive health. Fine, is good. Now find your way around it and look for a subject that encompasses it and make it your own, so that if you're writing your experiences or anything, you know that, oh, you've volunteered in this thing in the past, you've done this. And also, if you've not been volunteering, please start volunteering now. It's really important. Even if you start volunteering today or tomorrow, you can still add that in your essay. But it's somehow that you don't have any voluntary experience or leadership experience. And most times you look at the big things, oh, you think, oh, before I can say leadership experience, I must have been SUG president in my undergraduate. No, leadership experience can be as little as, maybe you guys were having an issue in the class and you decided to stand in for your class. You met a lecturer and advocated, oh sir, please, can you help? That's leadership. It doesn't have to be SUG president or first teenage governor in your state. It doesn't have to be that big. Okay, so Mr. Bassi, over to you.
Yeah, okay. So for the objectives during the award, yeah, it's it's really sketchy, but here you have to be very focused. Like, all those plenty talk is not necessary. So I don't know if we've heard about SMART goals, SMART objectives. So the SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. So your objectives during the award is the objectives during your scholarship, during the program. What are the things you are going to do during the program? So you highlight them. Like for me now, to make it easier for the person who is reading my essay, I didn't write it like in form of like a paragraph kind of stuff. I listed them. I wrote them in short sentences. So I listed them. So now, what are you doing in your object? This is telling us what will you do. In essence, the English language is saying, what will you do that 1 year that they have given you? What will you use it and do? What are the things they are going to do? Yeah, you have to strike that balance. You're not only coming here to focus on your book. You are coming here to be an all-round person. Yes, you might have been that academic and bookish person in Nigeria, no offense, but You are coming here to network, because in the world we are finding ourselves today, you cannot do away with networking. You have to know this person. This person has to know this person to assist you. So the world today is founded on networking. You have to know one person, you have to know another person, you have to know this person. So this networking allow you, even though they are not in your areas, and it will enable you to have an idea of whatever is going on in their own area. So now you are coming here to be an all-rounded leader. What are you going to do in that 1 year? For you, you can be, oh, okay, in my program, I'm going to gain some new skills and knowledge in so areas, which will help me to do so thing in my project that I want to do in Nigeria when I finish. In that my 1 year, number two, I can say, oh, I want to connect with international students, or I want to connect with other fellow Commonwealth scholars to do something like this. Okay, to maybe something like this webinar now, to create maybe a platform where I can mentor new scholars, new prospective scholars into winning the Commonwealth Scholarship. That can be your objective during your 1 year of your award. I can also say, okay, I can intend to connect with lecturers and network or make meaningful relationship with these lecturers, which will help me to build my research interest in so area for my project, my master's project or my master's dissertation. You can even state one specific lecturer in particular that you are so passionate that you want to connect with the person. And when you reach here in the UK, you definitely connect with the person and maybe collaborate on one or two things. Then you can also talk about that you are going to volunteer with one of the organizations here in the UK to enable that you are going to give back, even though you are studying here in the UK. You can also be giving back while studying in the UK. So you can also talk about even other things that can make you highlight that, yes, you want to be all around. You can even say, oh, you want to visit some tourist locations in the UK during your leisure. Even those are things that you need to do in your objective during your essay, your award, is a very personal. It's like as your personal statement. It's very personal to you. These are things that this is what you want to do. Your academic life is going to be very rigorous and very fast-paced once you get here. So you need to plan that your social life into your objectives to show that, yes, even though you are going to study, how are you going to relax after those rigorous academic activities that you've been involved in? Do you have any plan for that? Then that is that for the objectives during your award. So remember, all this is done within 1 year. What are you going to do in that 1 year? Now, your career. Your career essays is in two parts. There's the 5 years what's your career plan in 5 years following your award? What is your long-term career plan? Now, your career plan in 5 years. Now, you can further break this down to make it more simplified for you and even for the person who is going to read your essays. You can break it down into years. For me now, I said, okay, first year, I broke it down again, 2 to 3 years. I broke it down again in 5 years when I come back. So this is just saying, what are you going to do in 5 years after you've finished your program from the UK? What are you going to do when you return to your country? What are you going to do in those few 5 years following your awards? So here again, you need to be specific. You need to tell them what you want to do. Okay, for instance, now, let's say in 1 year now, when I go back to my country, I'm going to do so projects with the organization that I've been working in. Okay, in 2 to 3 years, I'm going to do another so project with a bigger organization, or maybe with the government, or maybe a collaboration that will enable so people to gain so services or something like that. Then I'll now say in 5 years now, maybe this is where I expect to see myself, maybe like a top position that I wish to see myself somewhere that will enable me to do all these things are tied to your development essays. So these are like all these areas that you are listing as your career plan must be tied that these are things that you wish to do from the skills you gain from your program, from the knowledge you gain from your program. These are things you are bringing in order to achieve these maybe projects or positions that you wish to acquire to enable you to solve these developmental issues. So those are your career plans. So these ones are short term. They're like what are done within the first 5 years. So you can break it down 1 year, 2 to 3 years, and 5 years, what you are going to do. That would be like 3 paragraphs for you writing that essay. Now, after writing that short-term one, you go to there's the long-term career plans too. Now, this long-term career plan, you can look at it this way. You may not really look at it like in 5 years or in 2 years as the other one, because this is a longer term. It might take longer time to achieve it. But for me, I'll try to keep it at an achievable and realistic. Like when somebody say, okay, I'm going to, like now for your long-term career plans, one of them might be that, like for people who are still interested in academics after their program in the UK, they might say, okay, one of my longer term career plans will be to achieve maybe a PhD in the field that I want to study, so that I'll also add to solving that developmental issue that I have raised, and maybe gain more further and advanced skills in that area and knowledge to apply to solving that developmental impact problem I have raised already. You tell us maybe like now that PhD might be one of your career goals, your long-term career goals that you hope to achieve. And tell us how you are going to use that PhD to help people's life and things like that. Then you tell us other career goals that you have. So you can give as many examples as you have, but always remember, word limit. Don't pass the word limit, except you want your essays to not go anywhere. But if you want your essays to go anywhere, always stay within the word limit. Try to always stay within. There are many things you want to write, but always try to stay within the word limit. Make those the time frame for achieving those long-term career goals. I'm not going to give you a specific year that your long-term career goals will end, because some of them might even be never ending. But try to stop it at a particular point where you know that it's going to be realistic. The person reading this will know that, oh, and so yeah, it's not like at maybe you are saying that maybe when you are like 100 and maybe 200 years old, that's when you do so things in your career. That's very unrealistic. It's a long-term goal, quite all right, but you have to show it in realistic years that you are still able to do these things. So those are the things you need to do. You talk about maybe how you want to be in the international space, how you want to be in the global community where you are, how you want to leverage on that the alumni network of that Commonwealth will give you in order to bring big changes in your field or the area that you are interested in. So these are things that will fall under your career, your long-term career goals. So I hope I've been able to answer a bit of that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Bassi. That was very, again, I don't know how you guys do it, but you try to. Of course, it's not I don't know, because you've done it before, so you are in a better position to tell people, look at what worked for me. And that's what I want to point out, like you said, you don't need to say something. When people are writing this kind of scholarships or essays, applying for scholarships, start thinking of, you think there's this big mountain you need to surpass, you need to do this big thing. Something just came to my mind when I was writing my first essay. Career plans. I wrote that I wanted to build a molecular research laboratory. How?
Which money? Who gave you the money?
They know. Then these people know where you're coming from. They know you're Nigeria. They might even know the economic situation more than you do. They have the statistics. They are working with top government officials. You want to build a research lab. Somebody will say, I want to build a hospital in my village. I want to construct a road that will join my village to Ghana. No, it doesn't
Wow.
have to be that big. It can be something very simple. It can be something that you want to start up a group of women that will support. Maybe let's say you want to work on gender studies. You want to start like a small community or a small group of people that will be doing something every year for girls to ensure that girls don't leave school or that they get education, something like it has to be, but make sure that it is something small but mighty. You don't need to start thinking cracking your after I revamped my essay, I went back to my initial draft. I was just laughing at myself. I was just writing unrealistic goals. And that is the temptation. You start thinking, okay, I want to become senator. You start writing after studying political science. Once I go back to my country, they will nominate me as senator. Is a lie. Your father is not Buhari. Who is going to nominate you? Say something realistic, be very, very realistic. So we're going to be taking questions now. Someone asked, do you have to come back to your country? Yes, you have to go back to Nigeria. Sorry to bust your bubble. You have to come back, but there are exceptions anyway. Please make sure you read these things on the website. They are there. Assuming you get like a fully funded PhD that is fully funded, they can allow you stay back if you apply and tell them. But it's different from Chevening. For Chevening, you have to come back to your country and stay for 2 years and do something before you can. Let's assume you want to go back to UK again to go and do PhD. You have to stay and do something for 2 years before going. But Commonwealth Shared, they will book your flight to go back. You shall have to go back to Nigeria, and then if you decide to come back to UK again, it's up to you. If you want to go back to another country, it's up to you, but you have to go back to Nigeria. So a little advice: once you come to, while you're here, that 1 year passes by so fast. So if you have other plans, start thinking about them. So please drop your questions in the chat box. Please, Bassi and Samuel, if you see any question that you can answer, please feel free to pick it up and answer. Please, can you send us a copy of your essay? I'm sorry, we cannot do that. What we can do, I can do, I can make a separate video on my YouTube. I can take some paragraphs in my essay and break them down, but I can't send you my essay. I'm really sorry. Can I get a record mailed to me? I'm sorry, I don't know if I can do that, but I'm going to post the link so you can just watch it. Does CSC give more credit to science courses than accountancy? CSC, like Bassi mentioned earlier, CSC has different themes. There are themes under science, there are themes under development, there are themes under economics, there are so many themes. So when you look at, let's say you're looking at accountancy, there might be a course that is talking about maybe using accountancy or revamping the economy of your country or something. Go under that theme, look for your courses. Yes, there might be more courses in an area because we know that science is really advancing. There might be more courses in the science area. I'm not saying there are, I'm saying there might be, but definitely any line, even terrorism studies, they offer terrorism studies, gender studies, develop, even climate, like water, all those, there are so many courses. So just go there, look for the courses. So it doesn't matter whether you did science or you did ACC, whatever you did. Hello, Kendra. I just applied to a UK university for my letter of offer. What next from there? For your letter of, I don't understand what you mean by you apply to UK for your letter of offer. If you can just elaborate, because I don't think I understood what you said. What grades are more likely to aid the scholarship? Are publications boosters? And when applying for the scholarship, like Samuel said, somebody would you want to answer that? Please go ahead.
Okay. Yes, because this is I've gotten this a lot, so I need to state it. The Commonwealth Shared Scholarship has requirements. Are you from a Commonwealth nation? Have you spent less than 1 year in a developing country? So do you have first class? Do you have 2-1? Do you have 2-2 with a master's? If you have this, apply. Don't say first class. No. Like every other scholarship, they have a whole lot of things they look at. Like for the Commonwealth, they focus on one, developmental impact. They focus on your previous leadership and voluntary experience. They focus on your academic stance, your academic merit. And they also focus on the quality of your study plan. So these are the things they look at. So academic is just one out of a whole lot of stuff. So please apply. If you have 2-1, if you have first class, if you have 2-2 with a master's, apply. There are Commonwealth scholars that are 2-1, there are Commonwealth scholars first. So that's not, it doesn't count.
Thank you very much. So someone said our publications boosters. When I applied, I hadn't published my work, but it was under review. So if you you don't have to lie, but please, if you're planning on publishing your work, you have the plans, you've arranged it, you start looking at journals, you can put it that is under review. You're not lying, basically. But if you've published a work, please put your work there. It's going to give you an edge. Someone has mentioned that today. Someone else asked, real estate management. Okay, another thing I want to let you guys know, don't be rigid when you're applying for Commonwealth. See, you can apply to 50 schools, and in fact, the more you apply, the more your chances. I watched someone's video. The person got 3 nominations. Was it 3 or 4? Either 3 or 4 nominations. That was the second time. The first time he applied to only 3 schools. He didn't get anyone. The second time he applied to 15 schools and he got 4 nominations. So if you have the power, you have the strength, if you can apply to 100 schools, apply, but it's almost impossible. But no, apply, keep on applying until you're exhausted. In fact, until the deadline, keep on applying. At first, I was targeting 5 schools, but I ended up applying to 9. Do you know that the school I'm attending now was the last school I applied to? The number 9 school I applied, that was the last school. So assuming I applied 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I for still in Nigeria for now. So apply as much as you can. Don't say, and don't go and start looking for all these big schools. If it's not Oxford, no. If it's not, Oxford is highly competitive. I'm not saying you don't have a chance, but don't just limit yourself. Also, don't say, if it's not public health, I'm not studying. If it's not public health, I'm not studying. There are other courses like applied global health. There's global health. I'm just talking about courses that are related to public health. There's global health. There's global health care management. There's population health studies. There's epidemiology and global health. Apply to courses that are related to what you want. Because if you're looking for that particular course you want, it might be just 1 school or 2 schools that are offering that particular course. Another thing is, you can see a school that is saying global health, whatever, and you go to their modules and you see that the modules that they are offering is the same modules that another school that is offering public health. So it's not really about the name. That's why Samuel has been saying it over and over. Look at their modules, because in fact, sometimes at the airport, when you're leaving Nigeria, they will ask you, what are the courses you're studying? What are you going to study there? You tell them the name of the course. Say, okay, what are some of your modules? Those people know. Not really that they know. They can stay there and just browse it. They might say, okay, you're lying. You're not even sure where you're going. Where are you going to stay? You read about UK, the environment, read about it. That's maybe when you've started progressing anyway. But please don't be rigid. Don't say if it's not molecular biology, if it's not genetics, I'm not studying. Guy, if it be 1 school or 2 schools where they offer genetics, so you might see things around molecular genetics, you might see genomics, you might see molecular bioscience. Those things are related to genetics. Apply to them. Please apply to as much schools. Don't say I'm only applying to 2. Like I said, I applied to 9 schools. I got nominated by 2. One was on reserve, one was a full nomination. But it was the last school I applied to that finally nominated me. So don't hold back. If you have the power and the energy, please, guys, you can see any question. We have like
Okay,
8 minutes. So
sorry.
yeah.
I saw a particular question. You don't need to have admission before applying. That's not a requirement. It's just that at the time they are nominating you, when schools are doing nomination, which is normally, I think, like 2 months, or I think 2 months after the application. By that time, you should have an unconditional offer. That's the school have given you admission. There's no requirement tied to it that you have to provide extra reference or English language proficiency proof. Yeah, so by that time you should have gotten admission. But now, just check out the school to see if the school's deadline for those applying for Commonwealth Scholarship is close or is same. For most of them, some of the times it's same, and some is after the application even. So you need to check that out. So it's not a hard and fast rule that you must apply for the admission before.
Yeah, and someone else is asking, can you use your Commonwealth Masters essay? Whether you've applied for Obasanjo's scholarship before, as long if you think that essay, because what you're writing in the essay is your personal experience. I'm assuming is your personal experience. The only thing you have to do is tweak it so that it suits Commonwealth and what they're asking. It's not you apply to Buhari's scholarship and Buhari is asking you how will you help market women to grow a market or something, and Commonwealth is asking you why are you coming to UK, you now copy that one and paste. No, if Buhari is asking you what are you going to do after this scholarship in Nigeria, and Commonwealth is asking you the same question, it's fine. You can use the same essay, but make sure it is specific. Some schools, once they see that your essay or your SOP, probably you sent it to 10 schools, that's that one copy. You just change the name of the school. You do not even, that's why you should look at the modules. Like me, what I do is I look at the modules, I look at the professors. If I see any professor that is doing any research I'm interested in, I just read, even if it's one of his publications, and then summarize it. So when I'm writing my SOP, I can say, I came across this professor, so professor's work where he examined blah blah blah, and I think this is in line with my area, blah 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 blah. They will know that, oh, this person has really really researched about our school. Another thing is, please, I'll mention this again, don't give your 100% to Commonwealth essays and you're giving 0% to your SOP. Your SOP is as important as your Commonwealth essays. In fact, the school that will nominate you is going to see your SOP first. That's the truth. They will see your SOP first before they say, okay, nice candidate, let's look at their Commonwealth essays. If you submit a trashy SOP, they've already disqualified you from there. So keep that in mind. Any last words, Mr. Bassi, Mr. Samuel? We have just 5 minutes. I'm sure we've answered the important questions. If you see any question that you want to answer, just give us your last words.
Okay, this person is still saying, I think you had answered this HND question. The HND issue is like, do you have your HND? You have to convert, like, is it an upper credit? You have to check with the school you're applying to if they accept an HND. And most times they do accept an HND, so that is not an issue. People with HND, even people, there's someone with an HND now that is on Chevening scholarship. She got the Chevening scholarship. So everybody with an HND, you have to check if the school you're applying to accepts that and what credits. I think it's in credit system, that's the HND, that's what the HND use. You have to check what credit system the school needs for that HND. So now for the Commonwealth scholarship, it might be tricky, but there's nothing really tricky about it. It's just that you have to check, is this maybe the upper credit? Doesn't mean that it's first class for a bachelor's degree in Nigeria, but still you can still use the HND to apply, as long as I think it's an upper credit of distinction. I don't know the ranking for an HND degree, but the first class you can also be used to apply, since you've also applied for admission in that school and the school is maybe considering your admission, or they said that they will accept that HND degree. Then what's stopping you from applying for the Commonwealth scholarship? Because it only says you submit your certificate and your school already accepted you, that they don't care whether you are HND or BSc. So that's that on that. And also the school that wants you to pay application fee might be few. As they said, you have to be very, 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 very open to other schools. Use your phone. This phone that everybody has, this phone has Google. Everybody should endeavor to use their phone, because you cannot just be using your phone for social media. Use your phone to check things that are very important to you. I applied for my first Commonwealth application. I used my Techno phone. This one is iPhone. I used my Techno phone to apply because my system was not working and nobody didn't want to give me system. So it was later on I now got the system to apply for my third application. And I only applied for 3 schools. 3 schools, that's my application. That's what I made for my application. But people apply for many. I just made that scary mistake of applying just for 3. I don't know if I would have gotten admission or not. And as Kendra said, it was also my last school that nominated me, where I didn't ever put hope. So that third option that I made was the one that nominated me. So you have to be open. You have to be open. Then about this WES evaluation system, it's only used in the US. It's not used
Canada.
in the UK, US and Canada. It's only used in the US and Canada. So you'd have to know that that's not for UK system. It's just like it's a US and Canada system. So that's basically what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, the video will be made available on my YouTube channel. I'll also post the link on my LinkedIn. Okay. And please, even if I would advise, even if you're not applying this year, let's say you don't have your international passport, you've checked, you're not quite eligible, or you're in 300 level, you're in final year, you've not graduated, please start preparing for next year. Start applying for your international passport. Once you graduate, start applying for your certificate and your transcript. Those things are important. So I didn't get the question of transcript. The UK, most times, they don't ask for your official transcript. The unofficial one you have, they can accept it, assuming you. And also, so people will say their schools, they can't send you transcripts. There's a way to get it. If you have your father's company, your mother's company, anywhere, maybe you have a friend that has an office, give your school that address. Let them send it to that company or that office. Then you go there, walk in and collect it, scan it into your phone and use it for your application. Don't go and send official transcript to UK, because if you're applying to 10 schools, you keep on doing that. That's 30K, 300K in my school. So the video is going to end in less than a minute. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Achibong Bassi. Thank you, Samuel Ako. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope to see you guys next year in February. Please take care, guys.
February.
Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you. Please endeavor to use your Google. Google is your best friend
I'm
in
telling
scholarships. You can never undermine the importance of Google. I always say it, and
there are so many
even other
videos out there.
opportunities I've got. Use Google. Google will take you to places that you think is not even impossible that you will get. Google will connect you with people that are